Hello, I'm Garrett Godfrey, and welcome to the Crowdfunding Christian Music Podcast, where I'll help you find and fund the music you love. This is episode 7, recorded Thursday, March 19th, 2015. I'm traveling for work, and I'm camping out in a hotel room right now, so I'm going to try and keep it kind of quiet since it's late at night and I don't want to annoy my neighbors. But I hope you enjoy the show and find something you can fund. Okay, so let's get right to it. Tonight we've got some current campaigns by Kerosene Halo, Coastline Commons, Knights of the Remnant, and the Scaterd Few. Now first up is Kerosene Halo. So Kerosene Halo is Mike Rowe from the 77s and Derry Doherty from the choir. And they got together a few years ago to put together a great album as Kerosene Halo. And allow me to gush for just a minute and say that these two are some of my all-time favorite musicians. And when they got together for that album, it's this beautiful acoustic, almost country sound. They've got a great, clever movie-style video on their Kickstarter page that was made by Christopher Taylor, aka Chris Taylor, the one from Love Coma, out in Austin. And let's watch a little bit of their video.
Red Dog.
Dr. Love?
You got the stuff?
Got the stuff. It's right there.
What is this, some kind of joke?
No, man. Stuff.
That's the stuff? It's just 2 guitars.
I got the stuff.
Where do you got it?
It's in my head. It's in my heart.
It's in your head. In your heart. All right, boy genius. If it's in your head and it's in your heart, how are we going to get it out?
You know, running an underground operation is tough, but sometimes making a record album can be just as upsetting. Hi, I'm Mike Rowe.
I'm Derry Doherty.
And we are Kerosene Halo. And it's been almost 4 years since that first album came out that we did, and we really enjoyed that record a lot, and we know a lot of you loved it. We really appreciate your support. Ever since we did it, we've been wanting to do another one, but we've been really busy with the 77s, the choir, and a lot of other stuff. So we feel like it's really time now to get back to Kerosene Halo and do a new album.
Tease me alive, tease me alive. I've only sad stories to tell to this town.
So they're looking for $30,000, and they're about 2/3 of the way there. They've got about 2 weeks to go. This campaign ends Sunday, April 5th, and they're looking for a much fuller band sort of sound with this album. They got Matt Slocum and Phil Madeira and Steve Hindalong and a bunch of other folks kind of up and ready to go for this album. So let's take a look at the rewards. If you scroll down, $12 gets you a download card in the mail and a sticker. $20 is the CD and some guitar picks and a sticker. $30 for the record and a download card and a sticker. You can even get a record of the first Kerosene Halo album as one of the rewards in this album. Speaking of which, I want to take you to the Bandcamp page for Kerosene Halo, where you can purchase the first album now and play a bit of a track, Tonight I Smiled at the Moon.
Tonight I smiled at the moon underneath the midnight Irish sky. Heard the whisper of a comet passing by.
So if this sounds like something you could get into, hit up the show notes for the links to the Kickstarter page and their Bandcamp page if you back it, or even if you just want to help them get more visibility. Post it on Facebook, tweet about it, and spread the word. There are just a couple weeks left to get into that Kickstarter campaign for Kerosene Halo. Next up is Coastline Commons, and this is a collective putting out an album all about the Emmaus narrative, and they're up in Seattle, and they're really all about writing music in community. And the focus isn't to just retell the Emmaus story out of Luke 24, just like let's sing some songs about that. Instead, they read it, they reread it, and they allowed that story to sink in and really percolate and inspire some songs and stories from within their own group that they would now like to record. Altogether, there's more than 20 people who make up that collective, and it's musicians and songwriters and poets and pastors and storytellers. And let's watch them talk a little bit about this campaign.
We've been surprised by the way in which creating songs in community has yielded a very intimate kind of storytelling. For many people, they don't think of themselves as artists. They don't think of themselves as creative. But to be made in the image of God means that you are creator. You have a story to tell. So we want to make this album, but the Emmaus story is helping us realize that this is the beginning of a journey that we can't do on our own.
The disciples left Emmaus and they went right back to Jerusalem to tell their friends what they had seen, what they had witnessed. And little by little, they started piecing together a bigger picture of what God was actually doing.
So they're looking for $8,500 for this project, and they've already exceeded that by $1,000, and there's still over 2 weeks to go. If this is something you're interested in, $10 gets you a digital copy of the album, $15 is for the download and PDFs to the music, $25 gets a digital download and the CD and a sticker. And they've got a link here in the kind of bio section to their website, and that website has a link on the left labeled visual. It's got some videos, and I'd like to play one of those videos for you now. So if it sounds like something you're interested in, or even just the concept of the community working together for this, definitely hit up the show notes for the links to the Kickstarter page. Check it out, and their homepage if you back it, or even if you just want to help them get more visibility, be sure to post on Facebook, tweet about it, and let your friends know what's going on with Coastland Commons. So next up is the Knights of the Remnant, and they're a metal band out of St. Louis, and I am a bit surprised that their campaign has no backers at this point. They're looking for $30,000 to do a second album and fund a tour, and this is a flexible funding campaign on Indiegogo, which means that they'll get to keep whatever's pledged even if they don't make their goal. And they've said in the section below that their primary goal is to do the touring, so the first $15,000 will really be to enable them to do the touring, and then the next will be to record a second album. But they've got a link, so in Indiegogo for Kickstarter, the bio is kind of like on the right part way down. In Indiegogo, you scroll a lot further down, right towards the bottom where it's got the little Find This campaign on, and that's where you can find the Facebook and Twitter, and in this case the website for them. But what you really want is their Reverb Nation page, and I've got the link in the show notes, because this is where you'll be able to play some of their songs and see what they're like. And after I play this, let me know if you are not surprised they have no backers also. So I'm thinking it's good for metal, and if you're a fan, definitely come and check it out. Hit up the show notes and check out their Indiegogo page and their Reverb Nation page if you back it, or even if you just want to help them get more visibility. Post about it on Facebook and spread the word. That campaign ends on April 7th, so there's still almost 3 weeks to go. Next up is the Scattered Few, and thanks go out to Matt Coastland over at Down the Line magazine for making sure everybody knows that Burnt Toast Vinyl is re-releasing the Scattered Few's debut album on vinyl. So the Scattered Few were a Christian punk band back in the 80s and 90s. They're remastering and re-releasing a limited one-time pressing of that debut album Sin Disease on vinyl with Burnt Toast Vinyl, which is a great indie label basically out of Philadelphia that's been around since the mid-90s. That first album sounds very influenced by the band, the Bad Brains. You can get the record on its own. So now Matt included the link, and we'll have the link in our show notes as well. You can get the record on its own for $20, or you can get it with an ebook for $25. And the ebook is from Alan Aguirre, and it's a lyrical study and scriptural commentary on the album Sin Disease. So definitely worth checking out if you were a fan of theirs back in the day. They're targeting a July 2015 release date for it, and I just want to play a little bit of their music for you so you know what they were like.
Take you to my reproof, don't reject me cause I'm young. We're here for Yahweh, glory to magnify His Son. Hang on, get ready, we're here for Armageddon, prophetic unfolding, we need to work together. The vision of the church, man, is really getting bad. Don't preach by the media, somebody gonna have to make the news we've had. The spirit's moving to bring out the pot and stop the confusion. Take a life, your right, holy arms. Hang on, get ready, wherever Armageddon, prophetic unfolding, we need to work together. The spirit's moving to bring out the pot and stop the confusion.
And they're more reggae-influenced stuff here.
Behold the principalities that are changing with the move of Yahweh's hand. They that understand take heart. His refuge is everlasting. Yeshua's name be praised. The night of sorrows passing shouts.
So if that sounds like something you'd be into, hit up the show notes for the links to the Burnt Toast Vinyl store. And keep in mind, the stock on hand is low. They're talking less than 400 units left for the pre-order, so act fast if you're thinking about it. And even if you just want to help them get more visibility, post about it on Facebook, tweet about it, and spread the word. Normally at this point in the show, I like to go back to a previous campaign that had closed and provide some sort of update. Tonight we have two. So Phil Madeira had a compilation album called Mercyland Hymns, and it's actually Mercyland Hymns for the Rest of Us, and this is volume 2, and that had closed back in June of 2014. And the update is I just got my digital download of it, and it's really good. I'm not sure when it will go on sale for sale to the general public, but keep your eyes open for it. And the second update was Luxury, and that had closed a while ago, and it just released just a little bit ago. And the news from them is they just released a video for their new song, Parallel Love. So if you like listening to their music, you'll probably enjoy watching it too. The link is in the show notes. So those are all the campaigns for this week. I do want you to stick around for a couple more things. If you like the theme song at the beginning of the show, it's Hypostatic Union by the X Structure. They're a South African group. It's Creative Commons. All their music right now is Name Your Price over at Bandcamp. Of course, the link is in the show notes. Head over, stream their songs, see what it's worth to you, and buy some of their music. Include a note that you heard about it on the Crowdfunding Christian Music podcast. Also, don't forget to head over to the Crowdfunding Christian Music podcast website, where you can see the episodes, you can see the show notes, you can see, so you can expand out those show notes, and it's got all the links in there. You can see a calendar of all of the campaigns and when they're ending. So today is March 20th already, and it's rolled into Friday now. So you could see, oh my goodness, in 3 days the 363 album pre-order opportunity expires, and I really wanted to do that. Act fast, and there you go. You can click through that and get to their campaign. There's a submission form at the top where you can give the site feedback. You can give me feedback on the podcast, the website, a campaign I ought to cover that I haven't mentioned yet. And of course at the top there's the links for Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, and so you can like the show or follow the show wherever you'd like. If you do like the show, please be sure to tell your friends. I'd love it if you would rate or review on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you found it. And if you're new to the show and this is your first one, stick around for a couple and see what you think. And if you decide to stay, I'd love to hear how you heard about it and what you think. So that's it. Hope you all have a great evening, and until next week, I'm Garrett Godfrey, and I hope you find something you can fund.